I hear some of you want to see inside my craft room. Come on in. Come on. Hi, it's Di from My Enchanted Journals. I turn just about anything into beautiful handmade journals. I live in Western Australia. Welcome to my channel. Right, so we'll do a quick pan around first. Just a quick one, and then I'll go real slow and let you see the whole room. There we go, that's the light. Might need to turn the light on. Yeah, there we go. So that's like a full length view of the room as I come in. So, yeah. All right, so as I walk in the door, right here, I've got all my journals on this shelf. So that's the one I did with Alex Castroferreira. It's called Keeper of Memory. So that stays up there, and I do add to it. And I shove bits in there and then go back and do a page. And these are some of my other journals. You'll recognize some of them from my videos. This one here is a passport journal that I've just finished. Some other things. That's the Rust journal that I did a while back. And of course a junk journal July. This was a video that I did on making a journal for $12.50. If you want to go back and find that one. And then these are some of the journals that I have up for sale at the moment. And that's where I store them, just in there. Alright, so panning back, you can see the door again. So as I walk in the door, right here I just keep my ironing board and my little iron. It's just a little mini one. Just hung up there because that is a great little space for it. And then what hubby did was he set me up like a corner shelving unit. I'm going to step back and then you'll be able to see. So it is like that. So it sort of goes around here and then back up the way. So it's like on a corner. And it's really good because I can store all my fabric there. And you'll see I've got quite a bit of fabric here. And to tell you the truth, I've kind of like gathered this in the last couple of years, but my tastes are changing now. So I am more into, you might be able to see this fabric here. I have already dyed it and yeah, eco-dyed it with leaves and rust and stuff like that. So, yep. And then in here, oh, you'll see the bunting. That's, of course, up there. I've just got, it's just more storage, really, stuff to do with my camera. In here is like all bits. So I might find something like this at the thrift store. And you'll see it's absolutely, like it's all been hand done and it's beautiful. So, yeah. Those get stored in there. Then on this shelf is all like spare stuff, like spare glue, bits and pieces. This here was my grandpa's old thing for punching holes. I hope my camera is not going in and out of being in focus. Yeah, and so that's that shelf. And then down here on this shelf I have, it's like a box full of paper. And I have some digitals. I don't use a lot of digitals these days, but I do have a couple that I printed out. That was from my fairy journal. You might have seen the giveaway. I made my own printables for that. And then mostly it's book pages. So pages that I ripped out a book, of course. The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady is there. Yeah, just loads and loads of old book pages, and I use those in my journals. Yeah. Magazine pages, all that sort of stuff. Here is some spare pads, like painter's pads and all that sort of stuff. And here is just more like paper bags and stuff that I use for backgrounds. There's some index cards in there. But yeah, that's an old cover from an old album. The old, 45s and stuff. And they're mostly just old paper bags that I use for backgrounds, and then they become pages. And then down here, that's just my junk in there. And then there, that's the infamous or famous case full of my grandma and grandpa's letters. Let's see if I can pull it out a bit. Yeah, that I've told you about. There's just hundreds and hundreds of really, really old letters. This is what, 1951. But they go further down in the crate that you go. They're all from the war. So the 1941, 42, 43. Yeah, all through the war. So my grandma and grandpa wrote letters. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in there. And then she kept a book on all the letters. So she wrote, so that's from 1941. She actually wrote when she sent it, how he received it, all that sort of stuff. So there's a record of everything. My grandma kept meticulous records. And now I'm the keeper of memories. So that sits in that bottom section of the shelving there, and yeah, it's just, I never know what to do with it, to be honest. I don't know whether to start using them or what, but anyway, that's where they go. Let's move up here. So in here you'll see this is where I keep my lace. So I just found this in the thrift store, and it's just full of lace. Yep. And then up there is books, lots and lots of books. So I take them apart, repurpose them, have the covers. You'll see here is some more books. Pan back a bit. But yeah, I don't wait until I need a book. If I see a book, I get the book. And then down in here is some projects that I'm working on. And in the back there is all my stuff for rust dyeing. So there's a great big pot in the back there, and my vinegar and stuff like that, but I know exactly where it is. All right, so let's pan across here. This is beautiful. It's a really, really old desk that my husband bought me for my anniversary, and I just love that. And I keep old linen in here. So when I find old linen, I store it in here. Look at this, you guys. It's like really, really old. And the embroidery is so beautiful, and I use it in my journals. And then there's another drawer full here. So yeah, just love old embroidery and old linen. Loads and loads of it. And what I'll do is I'll tea dye them and eco dye the white ones. And I just really love that. And underneath there is, what's under there? Oh yeah, my dyes, my Fabby, which I don't really use, to be honest, but it's there. I'll stick that back under there. Come up here. So these are more projects that I'm working on. And I just store them in here. And I do like some pages, and then I might go back to them. So yeah. Here I kind of set up a little bit of an altar. I really love the candle and the angel wings I found at the thrift, but I really love them. They're lovely and sparkly. And I just found this. I actually put that picture on Instagram. Just really like that. And there's a little mini car that one of my kids bought me, and a mermaid. And yeah, I just like how that looks. Just looks really sweet there. I love the smell of the candle. So as I walk in, that's like one of the first things I see. So I'm standing back over by the door. So yeah. And then of course you will have seen my new typewriter. So I set it up on here. This is actually a credenza, and underneath that it's actually a painter's drop cloth. But underneath that is like shelves and, you know, like packing stuff and things like that. I won't show you all that, but yeah, it's just boxes and stuff. It's just like a, you know, like a normal four, like goes down, down and across. So it's like a cubby hole kind of thing. So I just covered it with a painter's drop cloth. And, you know, the good thing about it is when I'm working on here, it doesn't matter if I drop paint or whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, this is my new typewriter. As you know, it's a Good Companion 3. It's like a little mini typewriter. It's not that small. That's my hand. So, yeah. I love the sound of the old typewriter, but it doesn't have a ribbon in it at the moment. So what I'm going to do is, once Christmas and New Year is over, is I'll go on the internet and find it. And so because the sun comes in here full, you'll see these windows are like a louvered window. I hope you can see that. So what this was, this whole room, you'll see it's got like a sloping ceiling. And it's called, in Australia, it's what they call a sleep out. So I live in a really old cottage from the 1950s. And this whole back of the house, so all of this, and it goes right across, there's a, in behind at the end there, is the laundry over through there. There used to be a door, but there's not a door anymore. And then behind me is the bathroom. So the whole back of the house is lower down, like by one step to the rest of the house. And so it would have been what they call a sleep out, which is like a veranda. I guess you all know that concept. And yeah, and so it was made into a room, I don't know when, but when they put them on, and it's very common, they have like a louvered window. So I haven't had louvered windows in any of my houses before. It's got the security screens on there, of course. But yeah, I don't mind it. It lets the breeze in. And I just shut them up. And there's a blind up there. I don't know if you can see, but there's a blind up there. So yeah, I can close the blind if I want. So anyway, let's moving along. So that's my new typewriter. And then this here is like a workspace for me. I work here doing, you know, journals and things. And then these are like my collected bits. So that's my bird's nest. I put that on Insta. I collect, you know, there's a sponge there from the sea. You might have seen that one that I did, that video where I went to the ocean. I wasn't feeling too good. And there's leaves and all sorts of treasure. And then here is some rusty things. So, yep, that's pretty good. And then moving along is my little typewriter, my little sewing machine station. It's just an old school desk. Nothing elaborate, nothing fancy, but it just is perfect for my sewing machine. So, yeah, it's covered over at the moment because it's right behind one of the windows. And so the dust will get to it if I don't. All right, let's move over to this corner. Is, yeah, like a really nice corner. I love this little corner. So we just wallpapered. You can see the wallpaper kind of stops here. So I don't know your opinion on that. Hubby wants to finish it off and do right the way around. So, yeah, let me know what you think. But anyway, these are the shelves. I don't know, when hubby was sick in hospital, the boys put them up for me. And that was on one of my other things on Instagram, I think. I put it up there. Anyway, so I've got these shelves and there's a little tiny cut off at the top. So I just put a couple of little fake plants on. And then I found the red flower at the thrift for $3, but I love how bright it is. There's a few of my journals up there. That's a photograph of me when I was about 3. Yeah, and then just some other things. That's a journal that I work on like all the time. It was an old paint canvas that I found at the thrift and I repurposed it to a journal cover. There's a video on that. And yeah, I go in there all the time and just add to it. That's my travel journal or travel case. There's a video on that as well, how to make your own travel one. That other one there is an eco-dyeing recipes journal. I haven't shown you that yet. And then my feathers, I collect these and put them into the little jar that my grandkids wrote out for me. And then there's just some twigs. I love just collecting things and putting them together. And if we go down a shelf, you'll see the Ephemera. That's the Ephemera journal from last December, so 2022, and that's really, really chunky, that one, and it was huge, and I found the pages a little bit overwhelming, so this year I picked a much smaller journal. You can see from the size, it was only a 4x6, and yeah, it was much better for me. This leaf I did some eco dyeing with, and because the paint went onto it, it's sort of preserved it. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's huge. That there is my leather wallet journal that I made. There is a video on that as well, and there's a video on that as you go into my channel. So that is so beautiful. It's like hand-tooled leather, and I made it into a journal, and that's in touches of my life, I think. And there is the little friendship bracelet that I told you about. I think it was prompt 25 under Ephemera 2023. That there is just a beautiful, it's a watercolor, I think, but it was like $1 at the thrift. So much work has gone into it, and I just love it. These are old cotton spools I really love. This is another journal that's for sale in my shop. And then down here is the Flowers Magic Art Fest journal that I did with, yeah, I don't know, it was on the, I did a course of that, Francesca Nuncha, that's it. So yeah, really nice. Then we come over, and let me just pan back. So this little shelving unit, it's like a nothing, right? But I was at the tip shop, or if you're watching Liz, it's the Kelp, the Kelp shop. But anyway, they sell things off, and this was available along with a few other things, and I think they charged me $20 for the whole lot. And then I ended up selling, oh that's right, I got a door and the door didn't fit, so I ended up selling the door for $50. So really this shelf cost me nothing, and it's really, really old, but it's really slimlined. Like if I come here, you'll be able to see it's like, I don't know, the span of my hand. It's not very wide, right? But I absolutely love it, and it's perfect for storing all my stuff in. And on the very top shelf, you'll see that it has these glass doors that can go across. They won't go across because I've got these two containers here, but yeah, I can store stuff. So what have I got in here? Well, old tins will always get a look in. Let me see if I can pull the blind down a little bit so that it blocks the sun a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit better. Maybe not. No. All right, anyway, I've got old tins in there, and they've got bits and pieces inside them. And at the back there, you might be able to see there's some art. It's not my art, but they were at the thrift too, and somebody has handmade all that art, and that little cat is all hand sewn. So I'm a bit like a bowerbird. I pick up things. That's my grandpa's really, really old passport. And then these, you'll see, if I pan back again, that the shelf has got all old boxes on it, all old tea boxes, and I really love the look of that. And then there's a load of old tins. So I've got cardboard here, just pieces that I, you know, mess up with paint and stuff. And then my buttons are in here, and lots of other things are in those things. There's an old Dymo in there that I use. This is all old vintage paperwork, 1940s, 1950s. There's books with writing in, etc., etc. Here is, so for November we were encouraged to have a scrapbox, and I kind of like the idea, and I've kept it. So these are really old books in here, like paperwork and stuff, for houses and stuff, so I've got to pull them apart. And then going down to the bottom shelf, this shelf here, I've got my paints. So my good paints are on this side, the Jo Sonja's and the Liquitex. And these are cheaper paints, but they still got really nice colours. And then there's just some other paints there. Some little boxes here. I've got like just little bits in them, you know, like little keys and coins and discs and bits and pieces. This box hasn't got anything in it yet. What? An empty box? Oh my goodness. But that paper's there ready to get splattered on. And then there is a scrap box, and next to it is some leather that I picked up. But yeah, the scrap box is good. I put all my bits in there, and then I pull them out and use them, you know, to make a pocket or to eco dye. There's just a few magazines and books there. I had started getting Daphne's diary, but it doesn't really fit what I'm doing with my journals, so I've stopped getting that. But there's some beautiful books. I love these books here. These two here, Stitched Memories and Daydream Journals. I just love those two. Tilly Rose, if you don't follow her on Instagram, I suggest you do. See if I can squash those back in. And then down here are my stencils. So yeah, just love storing them in the boxes. And then we're going around by my desk, but down there is a really old photo album and my cutting board. Not my cutting board. But yeah, that album is like a really old album from my grandma and grandpa in the 70s when they went to Italy. So I've been pulling that apart. So let's pan back up and you'll see my shirt from the 100-Day Project. And just some bits and pieces. That's my family there. And then this, I do some art in that. Another old tin. This is full of treasure. I don't know what this is. Just an old Dolly's boot I picked up. This is all full of treasure. Just bits like coins and don't know. Then my mum gave me this. She says a few bits and pieces I thought might be handy for junk journals and your great-grandpa's wounded stripes. So when my great-grandpa was in World War One, he became a prisoner of war. I've discussed this before. He was in a prisoner of war camp and he was actually really brave. He was shot in the leg and wounded really badly, nearly lost his leg. And in all the photographs in the prisoner of war camp, you can see him, he's actually out of uniform because his trousers had to be ripped off. In here is a really old cutthroat razor in there, and in there is a really old set of spectacles, but when I got them out they snapped on the bridge, so I'm going to use them on the front of a journal. And then if I pan up, you'll see is the 100-Day Project where I made 100 pins in 100 days. So if you haven't seen that, I've got a video where I flip through that as well. But yeah, now this here is a windsock that my 5-year-old grandson made, and he absolutely loves coming in this room. Can we make some art, Nanny? Can we go and do some crafting, Nanny? So I encourage him as much as I can, and when the wind blows in here, that does go a bit crazy, and I love it. I just love the colours in it, and you know, his brush strokes on the paint. He's just such a clever wee man. And then here is where I store my inks. So I've got I've only got 2 of these. One's for corners and one's a circle. I find that's all I need. A little set of stencils, and then if we pan down, I've just got some inks, and that's where they're stored. And I think it's an old cassette holder. I don't know, I got it from the thrift. You would have seen the other day that I got this container, and I've now filled it up with scissors and paintbrushes and whatnot. I just got these brushes from I think it was AliExpress or somewhere, $1 each, and then all my scissors. And then we pan around to my desk. So this is where I sit. That's where I film, and that can all be moved out of the way so that I can get to my computer there. But yeah, I've got this old pigeonhole. So this desk is really, really, really old, and it was just in a shed that when we bought a house, but it's really old. You know, one of the old school desks, you might be able to see here just the old wood grain on the desk there. So what my husband did was he made a top for it. You can see there, a top for it, just out of old floorboards, and he had to stick it together, so that's why it's got the 2 bits of wood on either end. So I film mostly here on this side, and I just avoid that end bit there, so I'm sort of filming about there, I think. And then this swings over, I attach my camera to that, but I've done a separate video on my filming setup. So there's an old set of pigeonholes from an old post office, and what they've got on them is a whole load of numbers. So yeah, saw those on Marketplace and they were free. All we had to do was go and pick it up, so I love that. Just got a few more boxes on top, and then this is my What a Wonderful Life memory board that I've been doing. got a separate video for that as well. But it's just full of photographs of my life. Absolutely love it. I haven't mounted it yet because I haven't filled it. So I've just put it up there out of the way until I add to it. Do you know how many photographs it takes to fill that thing? Oh my goodness. So I've got an Apple computer. That's what I use. I treated myself to that a few years ago. Probably 2 years ago now. So let's talk about the pigeonholes. Well, top, see my crocodile, and there's a few music books and stuff. That's my personal journal that I'm just working on at the moment. And that is all envelopes in there. So all old envelopes and new envelopes and all bits. This is all my glues and my inks. So they slide out for ease of use. And grabbing stuff, I've got the usual suspects: Mod Podge, Liquitex, craft glitter glue. In here is stickers, mostly floral. This is tags, all tags, things that I can use in journals. Yeah, lots and lots of bits. Up here is a cup with staple stuff in it. This is like a box of goodies. Let me see. So it's like collected treasure, things that I find on the ground that I can use in journals, old tags, old bits of photographs. There's an old badge. Yeah, just bits. Like I said before, I'm a bit of a bowerbird. It goes back up in there. And then this side, well, this side is all the papers. So if we scan down, and you'll see, so when I'm sitting here, I can reach forward and I can grab, say, eco-dyed papers. There's, you know, and I start to put together my journals, and I can grab envelopes, I can get my glues, everything's at hand. This is pre-used art, I believe, stuff that I've used before, and then I repurpose it. Bags, paper bags are in there. There's one here that's got doilies in it. Yeah, wallpaper is all in here. This is all like vintage wallpaper, beautiful stuff. This one I think is music books and music paper, so I'll try to tea dye those before I use them. And you can see there's a price on it. It was $2 for the whole pad. I rarely buy anything new. This is all book pages, so yeah, just out of books. I grab that and redo that. And up the top is music paper or ledger paper or stuff like that. All right, so when I'm sitting here, I can just grab whatever I need, and then I can work here. You'll see there's a couple of my brand new journals sitting here that I haven't even discussed with you guys yet. So they're there, and they just sit there, and then I can work on them. And then in here are my personal art journals that I get out and I just doodle in. They're not even attached. You can see they're just, I doodle in them and just, you know, I might come in here like I did Christmas Day for 5 minutes and I just doodle. I don't show anybody this art normally. It's just stuff that I do when I'm on my own and just mucking around. Yeah, just personal stuff, you know, drawing and squiggling and whatever. And I made that cover. That's on one of my shorts. I just got a piece of fabric and just did inking all over it. And then there's another one here which I did. This one I featured quite a bit. I do a lot of art in here, and then I put it onto Insta. But yeah, just my personal pages, and it's just an old calendar book, and then I rip the pages out and add them to my journals so people get a little bit of original art. I've shown that one before. Yeah, nothing groundbreaking, but that's where they live, on my desk. So when I'm talking away, you'll now know what I'm talking about and where I'm talking about. This is all tea bags, pre-done. Yeah, Here is old book spines and the washi tape we did with Francesca Mincha. So yeah, so that's the little pigeonhole situation and what goes on in the pigeonhole. But yeah, I love those for free. Wow, what a bargain. Okay, and then there's just some drawers underneath that I keep paper and bits in that I use for collaging. One's got coloured paper, one's got black and white, but the computer sits nicely on top of that, which is really good. Pan around, and I've just got a few things on the wall here, just a nice picture and yeah, some bits. And that's actually a chimney stack that goes through the lounges on the other side of this room. So yeah, that's the chimney stack. And then what I did was just put bunting up and some old pictures, but that is actually earmarked, that wall, for a family tree. So I'm actually going to draw it on the wall, because very often I'm having a conversation and I think, now who was that? Was that my great-grandfather? Was it my great-grandfather's brother? So yeah, I really want to actually draw it on the wall, but I really like how that looks just now. And they're like a load of old posters that I got, and you know, they're reproductions, obviously. Sorry, the reflection from the windows coming in. There we go. And I really just love them. And this one here was like a really old embroidery. It was $2 at the thrift, and that is professionally framed as well, tell ya. And then this one here, BOAC, was a really old airline that flew out of the UK. And the reason I love it, oh, sorry about the light. The reason I love it is because I flew BOAC to Australia in '73. So there we go. And then these ones, yeah, so that is in a wall down here. Oh, look who we've got down here. My little shadow that follows me everywhere. And then my wallpaper books that just sit next to my desk. So yeah, the old desk. So, you know, the chimney stack comes out quite a bit, and then the desk comes out further than that. So it was a really old school, really wide desk, which is really good because I can get that pigeonhole on, and I've still got way room to work. You can see there, lots of room to work. And I love it. And so the chair is on wheels, and I just slide across. So slide back. Yeah, really good. All right, so back past the chimney, and then we're going back to the door. So this is what my grandson made, the one that likes to do crafts, Nanny's craft room, and he wrote his name in a robot. I don't know what the robot's got to do with crafting. This here is a printable in my shop, Be Amazing, and a little thing I picked up at the thrift. And then the bunting goes all the way across there and back around here. And then we're back to the door where my son made a little sign for my door that says Nanny's crafting room, which is really cute. So yeah, this is my little haven. I love coming in here, and my husband often has to come down with a cup of tea and make sure I'm still all right, because I'm in here for hours on end. But I love it. Makes me feel really comfortable, and if I turn that light off it might be a little bit better. There's a lot of light coming in the window. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, but the sun comes in the back. So yeah, and there you have it. It's not a wide room. It's probably about 8 foot wide, but it's quite long, about 12 foot long, maybe longer. But yeah, love it. It's my own little space, and let me tell you, if you have never had your own little space, or you work out of the corner of a kitchen, yeah, it's a real treat. You can see there, that's the bathroom through there. So yeah, this runs almost the length of the house. So yeah. All right, so now you've seen where it is that I work, what I get up to. Yeah, love it. Love this little section here, and I add just little things that I find. And they're not static. They don't stay there forever. I just love the candle, love the smell of it, and love around the edge. It's got serenity and calm and happiness, meditate. So yeah, I'm hoping that you can see okay with the light. It's a bit annoying. But yeah, those angel wings are really sweet. And that picture is not of anybody. It's just a frame that I picked up at the thrift store. And the little girl inside it just reminded me of my grandma when she was little. And the frame was brand new, although it looks really old. And it was $1. Tell you. I don't spend anything big. I don't know if did I show you inside the desk? It's just nothing much, but it's a really old desk with the drawers and secret spots and all that. Love it. My grandpa had one as I was growing up, which I don't know what happened to it. I think he sold it. But yeah, really sweet. All right. Well, that's me. This is my little haven. This is where I come and absolutely love it. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing where I hang out and what I get up to and how I get up to it. If you can hear water, that's my husband outside the window watering the plants. All right, that's me. I'm heading back out. Are you coming, bud? Are you coming? Come on. Come on. No. Okay, that's me. See you later. Bye-bye.